Hi, this is Greg with CloudTruth. This is the companion screencast to our blog post on how to use CloudTruth to configure your OpenAI instances. So let's go look at CloudTruth and walk through this. First, we're going to start off with the environment view. This is where CloudTruth manages the configurations that are going to be deployed to your environments. You can call them whatever you want, but typically we have development, staging, and production environments, and there can be multiple child versions of all these. We're also going to be using our tagging system to fetch the right config for each release. So I'm going to update my tag for production to now so that I fetch the right config and save that. Okay, and now let's go look at our projects. So in the blog post we talked about using our blueprinting capability. So there's a master project called Assistant Blueprints, which contains values that can be inherited by child projects, and one of our assistants is a project called CloudTruth Copilot. And we also have a project for our functions. So let's go look at the templates for the blueprints. Here they are. So these are CloudTruth templates that will build the associated YAML or JSON file that's needed for the configuration activities. And now let's go look at the actual configuration data for our Copilot. That's under parameters. And so these are the typical configuration values, the instructions, model type, the name, temperature, and so forth. Now CloudTruth has this concept of interpolated values, which allow us to get very flexible on how the variables are going to be constructed for each of our config variables. And this allows a lot of functionality for getting really dry with your config. So this in terms of a value that's going to be interpolated. So I'm going to show evaluate all interpolated. Here we go. Now if I hover over this, this is a completely populated JSON structure for each of these. And also while I'm on the parameters view for the CloudTruth Copilot, I can show you how our guardrails work. So I have a enum set up for the model type, and that's managed down here under types. There's one type here for GPT models, which means that the only allowed options are the ones that are sanctioned for our particular project in terms of what we're using with OpenAI. So let's go and look at how that works. So if I want to change the model to something different besides GPT-4o, I can go and edit that value, and I'm going to choose from a drop-down list of the only available options. So this can be constrained so that it helps you avoid misconfigurations and brings some consistency to otherwise typically untyped files like in your repos, which don't have any guardrails checking on them and so forth. So the real goal here is I want to be able to generate the config data for this project. So it's going to go to templates. And here's my master configuration for JSON in a format. Now this is the liquid templating code for generate the template, and I can preview it for all my environments. So here it is in the preview window here, and I can just visually inspect it, but I'm confident it looks okay. And now if I want to get this template outside of CloudTruth, I can use our CLI here. So my project name is CloudTruth Copilot for a production environment, and I want the JSON version of it. I'm just going to print this to the screen, but normally this is piped to a file, or one of our higher level integrations can take this, whether it's working with Terraform or Kubernetes or CI/CD, can take this file and deploy it to to OpenAI. And I can look at my tools values here, and also my variables.tf for using this with Terraform, for example, which I know that's one of the popular goals, which is to use infrastructure as code tool to configure your OpenAI instances. And what CloudTruth provides is all the versioning of your model configs and a way to collaborate with data scientists, app developers, and DevOps and security folks. And then back to the blog post really quick. So in terms of our world, the way we deploy our configs is we use our event system when a change is detected, and this code here is going to update the OpenAI API with the new JSON payload, which would include all the config definitions for our particular CloudTruth function that's running in OpenAI. So thanks so much for your interest in looking how CloudTruth and OpenAI can be better together.